Right. But okay, it's working real live. So today's episode of What's Your Favorite Scary Movie? Young lady, would you please introduce yourself so everyone would know who you are?
Hello, everyone. I'm Bree. I'm just a big horror fan, even though I'm still scared, but I love watching horror movies. It's just something about them. I watch them by myself, but I'm Bree.
So, like, when did you like really get into horror movies? Or was it just something like over the years you just like, oh, this is a good movie. I like horror movies now. Or is it something that you was into like as a kid, like I was?
No, now as a kid, I was like really scared, but as I got older, I wouldn't have to say like I reached like 20 in my 20s, early 20s at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I really like scary movies because I don't know, I guess it's just the jumps and trying to figure out backstories, which you
Yeah.
can do with any movie, but the horror, I just really like that. And I was like, give me something to really think about. Don't let it have a good plot now.
Yeah. Because I was a kid. I like to see with slash movies like on every year, maybe like a Friday 13th, it would show like all the Jason movies. And then like on TNT, it had like late night. This cowboy had like his own like, horror movies show, and horror movies would come on. I'm like, oh my god, I love horror movies. There's nothing better for me than horror movies. I love horror movies. This is
I
the
think
best thing
mine hit when
going.
you ever heard that network fear.com back in the day.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, like
that.
I really think that's what kind of reeled me in. I say play nothing but horror movies all day, and I just kept watching and was like, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah, that's what drew me in is like so many outlets and like as I got older when I first started my DVD collection, I think like the first movie series I got was the Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's my favorite. I love
That,
all of them. My sister, she's still scared and she's older than me. And I'm like, girl, get your life.
your favorite scary movie that you chose today is Insidious.
Yes, that's my movie. Even to this day, I get a little scared watching it.
I can openly admit Insidious was a horror movie like in a long time. Insidious was a horror movie. It scared me. It
Yeah, it
scared me.
really did. I said, this is really doing it for the scary movie franchises. It is.
It
Like,
it,
I
it
kept
scared
watching
me.
it and I kept noticing different stuff. And then I watched it
Yeah,
again because I was like, we're gonna talk about that this week. And I started noticing other stuff. Like it still kind of scares me.
yeah.
Even that music.
And then it was like the mom, like she was what was her name? Oh my god. Renee Lambert, played by
Hmm.
Rose Brand. She did
Yeah.
such a good job of being scared. It had me believing like I think this really happened. I'm
She
scared.
did. She was so stressed out. I was like, I just couldn't. Like that one ghost that was obsessed with her. I still was trying to figure that out. I said, does the ghost have a crush on her or something?
Like when he was on her like their patio or whatever, on their outside their room, he
Yeah,
walking
that
back
was
and
the freaked
forth.
out part, right? That's it. What is that?
And then it was in her room. I'm like, oh man. I was like, forget this. This house is haunted. We're moving out. I don't want to live here. I feel
Just
sorry for
admit, at
her.
some point, I did get a little tickle, even though it is my movie, because I said, why does she keep leaving the doggone kids in the room by themselves?
Oh,
Get your butt up there.
but they daughter got on my nerves. All she did was
Just
cry.
cry. I
Oh
felt the
my
same way. I said,
god.
there go that hollering baby.
Send this baby to daycare or something. Jeez. This
Callie.
Callie. Send her to daycare. Send this child to daycare. And it was just
She made it worse with that hollering. I said, oh, hell, this hollering baby.
I'm like, cause she was always screaming. So it's like, is she
What?
seeing the ghost or is she just a crybaby? Ugh.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that too. That was the question. I said, is she seeing the ghost or?
And it,
Mm.
and this movie had so many like scenes that were like scary. Like she was talking to Dalton's little brother, Ford Foster. He's
Hmm.
like, I'm scared, mom. I be seeing Dalton walk around at night. Wait a minute.
Hold on. What? And then her reaction, I said, girl, I'd have been like, I know you lied. I know you lied.
Cause I like how he walk around. He must be in a coma. This is bad.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you can probably sleep down here. We'll let him have the whole upstairs.
This is bad. We can't leave him in the hospital or something. Why is he walking around at night?
I know, but that was also made it my favorite scary movie because the house wasn't haunted. The person was.
That was a great twist.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great twist in my opinion. I'm like, cause I'm thinking like, man, I just need to move, bro. I just been moved the first night. But the boy haunted.
I know. Yeah, it's like, and then to be honest, like I'm not obsessed with dream walking, but I've always been curious about it. So to kind of see it play out in a movie, I really like enjoy that aspect of the movie.
Yeah. I'm like, people leaving their bodies when they sleep. That's
I said,
interesting.
leave me in mind. That's scary.
Phew, like if I could do that, I'm never gonna do that again after this movie. I'm like, I would never do that.
I know, bring me back. Bring me back. But you know what? That brings me to that show Lock and Key, but that's a whole nother episode.
But then like to find out like his dad can do it, and grandma, you hiding this secret? You ain't even
She
telling
had
us?
to though. Like she was like, I had to because every time I took a picture, he got closer and closer. So I had to like not take the pictures anymore and not let him know. And I was like, okay. I
Good
said,
reason.
Mama was dealing with stress all her life with with this man. She was stressed all her life with her son.
This little boy, I don't got issues. What's going on with this little boy? Who is this behind him? And then like the dad, I lost respect for him. Like your family going through pops, but you
I
gonna stay
did.
away? I gotta stay late, grade some papers. What?
Speaking of that part, like that was like some trivia that I did find within that scene. Yeah, so in that part, it said that on the chalkboard, because I'm like, he's a teacher and she's not working. First of all, I'm a teacher and I will know we would need those two incomes in that house. And I said, they can afford that where he work at. But anyways, back to the trivia. Back to the trivia. In the background, I went and looked at it, and it is a picture of the puppet from Saw.
Yeah, I read that too. I like really.
When he told me, I was like, hold on, let me go back and look at it. Is it, hey, it really is there.
Like
Okay.
what? But I think the director he was over like the Saw franchise. So like
Mm-hmm.
okay,
I love that too.
like
So,
since we get into the trivia, like the lady Elise, she played the teacher in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part One.
she's a scary character in itself to me. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I was like, she's scary in itself. Like her look, she really played her role really well too.
she did. Like she be looking to the corner and seeing it and mumbling words. I'm like,
No, I was like, what's going on? What's up there?
I'm finna leave. I'm like, I'll let y'all handle this. Let me know how this turns
I
out.
know I was so dramatic watching, like, what's up there? I'm looking. What? I don't see nothing.
Just like, what y'all looking at? Because like the guys Tucker and Spix coming relief. I'm like, they was hilarious going back and forth. Like, whose job was more important? Like,
I know, right? It was kind of funny. Now the fun that it like I said, it's a good horror movie,
yeah.
but I really laughed when I saw that little boy in there dancing. I said, he getting it. He
Oh
getting
my goodness.
it. And that song that was playing, I said that song is hilarious. And he getting it.
I he was getting it, but I would have been scared because like at first, the first time we see him, but we don't see him, it's when he has a laundry basket, but he's standing facing the
Yeah.
wall.
I said, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah, like what's going on? And she go outside, see him dancing, like, I
I
ain't
said,
going in there.
I think I would have went back in the house. I'm still about trash at this point. I'm
I was,
trash. I'm
I've been
like,
staying outside. Like somebody gonna come home eventually. I'm just gonna stay out here.
it's okay. I'll be hungry. I can just stay out here. I got the pee outside. I ain't going in that house.
Like my son called me, he ain't going nowhere. I just stay out here. Oh. Then like I give her all the credit because she really played this part of a scared, out of her mind woman.
She's really good as an actress, period. You know, like
Yeah,
she's not American. I think she's like British or something.
yeah.
I think she's like British. I'm not sure, but I think she is British. So I was like, the way I don't understand how they do that. They just suppress their accent.
I mean, it's like most of the cast on The Walking Dead, they was British and they hid their accents. It's like y'all sound like y'all Southern, but y'all really from from Britain. But man, this like Insidious, and then what I love about Insidious, it didn't do like The Conjuring. It didn't start having like the all different little weird spin-offs. It just stuck to the story. We
It
gonna
did. Now, one thing I'm gonna have to do when it comes to that is that I know it's like the third piece in the story. I'm gonna have to watch them in the correct order. I haven't done that yet.
right. Because
Yeah,
I think the fourth one is pretty. Plus, I think the fourth one goes like before all of them because it's telling like at least story from when she's a kid until like
Mm-hmm.
So Joe, so I think like the fourth one comes first. It's like a Marvel comic thing. It's like it's all over the place and so many ways you can watch them.
Cause
But
I was wondering, like, so if that was him opening the door in Insidious, who is this? And that's what when, like, I still didn't get it. When exactly did she take over his body? I said, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the order.
that's
Even though
true.
I
It was
seen all of them, I'm still confused on when did that happen.
that's a good like yeah. At the end, the guy took the body, and then in part two, it's like they're replaying like the scenes from part one. Like he's outside the house beating on the door and setting the alarm off. Like what's this time loop going on? I'm like I'm confused.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna have to figure this out or something, or
Yeah,
Google, because I was like, when did she actually take over his body? Because it didn't happen when it was a child, according to what the mom was saying, unless it been happen now and she's been in his body the whole time. But that would just be too long of a span.
so it's like I don't know. It's just they like in the other world, like in the fun fact, originally the movie's gonna be called The Father. I read
I know,
that.
right? Hmm.
That'd be interesting. But apparently, like in The Father, you can time loop or time travel, or I don't
Oh,
know. It's
okay.
I don't want to find out. I mean, that'd be weird to go and like little boy was sleeping, pointing on the corner over there, like what is going on?
Yeah, like okay, so that would actually make sense if there's like a time loop there because I was like, I don't know when did this actually happen, but okay.
Because he like in The Father, he went back in time and saw his kid self. And his kid
Yeah.
was helping him. His son, like, yeah, go through here and open this door, and you guys can find your body.
Hmm.
It
I was like,
was
that was like a part of his mind, I'm assuming. Yeah, like in the way
yeah,
in that part, I got confused because I said he's in the further, but it's also a part of his mind that is there. So
yeah.
at some point, she been had his body if that child is there. So I'm like, when did that where him himself as a child? Yeah,
I
so
guess
when did
I
this
don't know.
happen?
I guess when he was a kid, when Elise had suppressed that memory or that certain power,
Hmm.
that part of his mind was blocked off from him remembering. So I guess when they unlocked it, that unlocked everything. I don't know. Now you got me one of them.
I know now. I'm really wondering myself. I said, I got to go back and watch these in order. So I'm off.
Now I
Insidious
got.
still my number one, but my second one would be Annabelle Creation. That movie still scares me. Like for real, I'm not
Oh
watching it by
yeah.
myself. I'm not watching it by myself.
Yeah, I will give Annabelle credit because the first Annabelle, like,
Insidious is my number one because I got to see like how people are when it comes to like dream walking.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, and I was like, I always wondered about that. To see it play out in a movie is kind of interesting.
and they just did it so well. And I feel like they had such a great cast,
They did.
especially like I said, I gotta give the mom credit because her being scared had me scared.
I know. I was like, she's stressed out. Help her. And I'm talking about the husband. I was like, help her. She's stressed out. And he
And,
didn't believe her. He
and
just
they
thought
did,
the shit. I said, why do you think it's a lie when she's showing up with proof outside?
and then even for them to move, you looking on your shirt like you scared. Let me
No, that was I thought that my dog was coming or whatever, and it was him. No, nobody's there. Look at me. I'm like, I'm out the house. I ain't gonna go in. I'm going out the door.
I'm gonna call 911 like I'm on live for somebody. Something's going
Man, I'm gonna
on.
set that alarm off. Look, that be them Netflix movies. Look, that's some Netflix movies. They was chatting and things go wrong.
You know what? Like I love what I love about Insidious the most. It's like one of the first. It was like a good movie that wasn't a remake, a reboot, or a sequel to something I already seen. This was like
Yes,
a great fresh start of a series. Like finally something, a new idea, something fresh. Looking
yes.
out,
I
I
agree.
don't
I say the
Hollywood.
director of this movie, like in all the movies he's actually created, and then Bloomhouse. Every time I see Bloomhouse, I already know. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, it's probably gonna be pretty good.
I give them a chance regardless. Like Bloomhouse, like yeah, I'm gonna give you a chance. That's why I was excited for it.
Yeah, I said Bloomhouse. Every time I see it, it's over with. I said it's gonna be
Yep.
probably decent. May have something here or there you don't like, or they could do
Hmm.
better. But his movies be pretty good for the most part. I did find out that Tucker, the guy that was doing like the scribbling, the writer for Elise,
Yeah.
he's also a writer, literally for the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. No, no, that's I think you're talking about Specs. He did small. He the one who did the scribbling.
No, the
Specs.
little one. Isn't it the little one?
Yeah,
Not
little one Specs. Yeah, Specs the good one who did the dribbling. I think he is. He does writing. It's like, and you're acting like you
Yeah, I was
talented
like, a
dude.
lot of these people, they just recycling the people to do other jobs. And I was like, that's amazing for the pockets, the paycheck.
Yep, give me and like they shot the film in 3 weeks.
I saw it and I said, that was very quick for it to be such a hit.
Like 3 weeks and that short of time. Wow.
And it's such a hit. I said, oh, wow, it was working day and night.
I would have thought it would took months to make this movie, but 3 weeks,
It did,
that's pretty impressive. Like I applaud them for that because
oh, that was like my forever favorite movie.
oh, man. And then just to spawn off three other good sequels that I enjoy, like man.
It did, and then then even so, it kind of branched off. Still, like some of the characters were like being reused, and the other ones, like when the dad, he played Ed Warren, and I want
Yeah.
was
The
it
Conjuring.
The Conjuring?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
played The Conjuring.
he did, and I was like, huh. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably think I am. His wife's name was Lorraine. That wouldn't happen to be his mom, would it?
In Insidious, his mom name was Lorraine, and in The Conjuring, his wife character name was Lorraine.
Saying Lorraine's though, right?
No, I think it's different Lorraine because that'd be kind of weird. Like, where-
And I was like, was she in the business or something, Grandma?
that'd be a great connection though.
It would have
Like
been. Like I was like, no, so I wonder is that the same one, but I guess not.
that'd been a great connection. I mean, well, who knows what they can do? They might end up making somehow a connection knowing James Wan because he's
Genius.
man, he's like the he's kind of like this generation's Stephen King or Wes Craven. He's
I was yes, Stephen King.
this movie in City. It still stands the test of time. It came out in 2010. 10
I
years
know.
later, still one of people's favorite horror movies.
I can't believe it's that old. It only seems like it came out like a couple of years ago. And if I was talking to someone, I would say, it came out a few years ago, more like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it still scare people to this day. People are still scared of this movie.
It is. So I'm like, I'm trying to see who's topping that next. I ain't seen nothing, but
The
nobody likes
Conjuring,
it.
The Conjuring came close.
Almost close. I was like, I like it, but I don't like it. That's it. I think because it just scared the crap out of me the most, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, that's the only thing the Conjuring had scary scenes, but the story for Insidious way better. To watch the films like in order of timeline, I guess we have to start with four, then three. I guess part one, then two. I don't know. Now I gotta.
It came up like I'll have to look it back up and see what's the correct order to watch them in.
Yeah,
Kind of skipped over that, but I mean I'm gonna do it though because I got to see exactly what happened when. I like movies with good background information. If you give me a horror movie but it doesn't give me the background, I'm like this.
yeah. And like to me, part one was scarier than part two, but part two gave me such more backstory to
It
come to find out the guy in the wedding dress, the black bride dress was actually a man. Like,
was it?
but we had to do this. Definitely had to do this more often. Talk about other of our favorite scary movies.
Oh, of course, of course. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
All right, been a blast.
All right, bye. Have a good night.
All right, you too.